happy and healthy and cruising along on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, and the weather keeps coming and keeps on changing. I know we started off with weather yesterday, but
a little whiplash.
I am worried for our safety at my house because we have clogged gutters. I foolishly forgot to sweep them out after the fall. And so now we have these massive icicles hanging off right above our back door, and then there's more right above our front door as well. And so I was out there with a broom trying to clear these icicles. But if we get the regular kind of rain today before the freezing rain, that might do a little
so let me just do a little breakdown for you. I think we've got some time because there's a lot going on in the weather over the next couple of days, and you're probably like, I heard it's gonna be warm, what's going on? Okay, so today we're going to have highs in the 30s. We're gonna be in the low 30s for most of the day once we get past lunchtime. But then this evening we have the chance for rain. So what Anthony is talking about is we do have the potential for a little bit of freezing rain because when the rain starts, temperatures are going to be in the low 30s for some, below freezing, especially north of Chicago, and that's where you have the best opportunity to have the slick roads because of the rain. From Chicago Point south, temperatures are going to be a little bit more mild, probably around 33, 34 when this rain starts. By later on this evening, so those temperatures are going to continue to climb. Upper 30s expected closer to the evening time, and then it'll be rain for everyone. So if we get the rain and we have temperatures above freezing, that's going to help melt out there the chunks of snow and crispy ice. But then we get into tonight, and a cold front's on the way. So tomorrow morning we're going to have snow, and it's going to be windy. So tonight we're going to have winds gusting to like 40 miles per hour. That's going to continue early tomorrow. So when you're driving to work tomorrow, limited visibility if these snow squalls are coming down. We could have lingering lake effect snowfall in northwest Indiana even into the afternoon. And the temperature tomorrow is going to be in the 30s in the morning. By the afternoon, we're down to the 20s. So it's going to be an early day cold front. So tonight we kind of stay elevated, propped up in the 30s. That's why we have the rain. And then tomorrow we're going to have that transition over to snow. And then after that, Thursday and Friday, it's going to be downright chilly, even worse this weekend. So I know we have the Bears game this weekend. Well, highs are going to be around 13 degrees on Saturday and Sunday, lows in the single digits. And in fact, early Sunday, we could have wind chills around 15 to 20 degrees below zero. So if you're going to the Bears game,
on the Bears game.
I was talking to Anita about it because that's what I said. We need to, this is, you know how we talk about inventions sometimes?
Yeah.
Here's my invention, and someone needs to do it and just make all the money in the world. And it probably has to be a celebrity. You know, we did this Toy Insider interview yesterday, and it was those Labubu's became popular because of a social media post from someone who's in a band or something.
He told us the reason Labubu's are a phenomenon is some K-pop star, I want to say, put it on her backpack.
Yes, okay, yes. Okay.
Put one off her backpack, and it because the brand's been around for 15 years.
Right. Okay. So this is what's going to happen.
Proceed. I want to know this idea.
Dressy, cute snow outfits. So like, you know the kids, you get them in the full gear.
Don't they have those already?
You step in, when you go skiing maybe, but I'm talking about like when you're downtown, like adult size. You step in the legs,
like full
zip it up, jacket, onesie.
They don't have that in like the fancy Vail, Colorado.
Yeah, but not skiing. I'm talking about like day to day. Like if you are living in Chicago and you got to walk to work or you're going to the football game, if you were walking down the street in a onesie get up right now, like a snowsuit, people would probably look at you sideways. But how much more comfortable would we all be outside? Like if you're going to the Bears game, but you have not snow pants, but like a snow outfit.
So stylish snowsuits.
Stylish snow onesies.
Snow onesies.
And you could even like make them bell bottoms at the bottom or whatever you want to do.
I'm picturing Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber. Are you familiar with the scene where they go into the hotel and he's got those furry boots?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're very colorful, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he starts handing out tips.
But like just, I could see it catching on. And like guys, I could see you pulling off like a black full body snowsuit.
I want like a screenshot of what you're envisioning. Maybe you could put AI on the case.
That's a great idea.
You know, I want to know more about this vision. Speaking of the cold, though, I thought Tom Brady's commentary during the Bears-Packers game on Sunday was a little bit interesting because it was so cold out there. Up at Lambeau, he was talking about how in his playing days, you know, he played in New England, he would keep 5 of those heat packs, heat pockets, hand warmer, thank you. 5 of those in that little, you know, those little quarterback sleeves they have. And he would always keep his non-throwing hand in there to prevent any of that heat from escaping, so that because he's like, if you take both hands out of that thing, the air can escape. But that's going to be a necessity for all fans Sunday morning, because I could see with that snowsuit idea, you just pack it with like heat, like pads everywhere, and then
you can get like battery operated hand warmers these days.
I tried
a heated vest.
Electric heated boots one time.
Ooh.
It was a total
gimmick.
Gimmick, yeah, exactly. I remember one of my coworkers at NBC and we bought these at the same time, because it was like, oh gosh, you know, we've been looking for something, because you're out there, you know, if you're covering like a fire or something on the street in the middle of winter. So what happens is you charge the boots beforehand, so they're full battery.
600 pounds each.
No, it's not that they weighed, they just didn't work that well. Like they didn't keep your toes
from being cold.
No.
Wow.
No. But doesn't that seem like a great idea?
Yeah, that would be.
And it was a bust. I was very disappointed.
Wow.
So like but then if you put the toe warmers in, and you have to have a good mix of some air has to get down there, or else they don't work that well. Have you noticed that? When you put toe warmers in, sometimes
I've never put toe warmers in.
Yeah, they're the exact same thing as the hand warmer pockets.
Oh, but you stick them in your boots.
You stick them in your boots, but
that?
I think probably they're too skinny to like really do any.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyways, this weekend if you're going to the game,
good luck.
Morning.
Godspeed.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Don't be embarrassed. Just layer it up.
All right. I understand that from sunny LA, we have our friends joining us from TMZ, Mr. Michael Babcock.
Hey guys, it's overcast, if that makes you feel any
better. That does make me feel a little bit better.
55 degrees outside.
I'm glad it's not. It'd be rubbing in our face.
I would never.
He's listening like
even if it was, I wouldn't tell you.
Thank you, Michael.
Good riddance.
Thank you, sir. We have a couple stories to talk about with our friends at TMZ. Michael Babcock joining us. We reported this one on the news this morning regarding Mr. Jimmy Kimmel. Why don't we start there? Some news involving this guy who's not been without controversy this year.
No, you're right. He has definitely not been without controversy. Donald Trump not going to be happy with this. And obviously, I think the president has wanted Jimmy Kimmel off the air, but the opposite is happening here. His contract was set to expire in just a couple of months. In May of 2026, the deal with ABC was up. And obviously, Jimmy Kimmel Live then would have went away if there was not action taken by the network. Well, they have decided to extend Jimmy Kimmel. Now, it's not an ultra-lengthy extension. We're talking about a year extension here. So presumably the contract will then be up in May of 2027. And then I suppose ABC will have the same decision to make again. Do they extend Jimmy Kimmel further, or do they let the show just run out and expire? But that's a decision for another day. For now, Jimmy Kimmel Live not going anywhere. Obviously, like you alluded to a couple of months ago, there was a lot of controversy with Jimmy because he, there were some people who were upset, including the president, the FCC director, at some jokes that were made about surrounding the death of Charlie Kirk. And obviously, he was briefly taken off the air. It was just a couple of days, and then he was back. And he had bigger ratings than when he came back than ever. So perhaps that weighed into the equation here. But again, bottom line, Jimmy Kimmel not going anywhere.
Do they usually just extend like a show as big as Jimmy Kimmel's for a year?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good question, though. I would say we have obviously seen other late night shows. I mean, look at Stephen Colbert and what's happening with his show. So we've seen those shows not have the strongest rating these days. Obviously, the television landscape is changing, and those shows, it's not like it was with Johnny Carson or even with Jay Leno and David Letterman anymore. Obviously, there's a lot more to watch, and because of that, those audiences have shrunk. So I think that probably weighs in, there are factors in here that, look, we just don't know what this is going to look like a year from now. So let's just take it in small increments. I think that's ultimately what happened here.
Was there any benefit to the whole Trump-Kimmel controversy? In some ways, do you feel like it might have helped?
For Kimmel, I do. Yeah, I absolutely do. And I think even if ABC was sitting there and they said, okay, the ratings aren't great, I think they almost were in a position where they had to keep Jimmy Kimmel, because if they had not, the blowback from the anti-Trump crowd, I think, would have been massive, would have been huge. You're giving into, authoritarianism, and you're, this is, where is free speech? And I think you would have heard a lot of people saying that and making that argument. So I think that once Jimmy Kimmel and his show was attacked by the federal government, I think that he was probably always guaranteed to come back. I think there's a good chance, if perhaps Donald Trump never said anything, who knows what happens? Maybe they don't extend him, and maybe his show goes off the air in May of 2026. Not happening now, though.
Okay, so maybe somebody's watching who doesn't know what they were tweeting at each other, Trump and Kimmel. Can you give us a little recap?
Yeah, so when, obviously, after the horrific death of Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel made comments. Now, he didn't make comments about Charlie Kirk, but he made comments about the way that Donald Trump was mourning Charlie Kirk, and he made some jokes on his show. And after those jokes, the FCC essentially said, "Hey, it almost sounded like it could have come out of the Godfather movie. You can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way." And the government wanted, Donald Trump wanted Jimmy Kimmel off the air. There were 2 station groups that ultimately chose to take him off of the air, and his show then was basically put on pause for a couple of days. He comes back, and he comes back again to ratings that he had not seen. I'm not sure he'd ever gotten numbers like he got when he first came back, because his audience just grew exponentially. Obviously, they have, in a large part gone away. He has not maintained that audience. They kind of just came to see what he'd say in the light of this big feud with the president. So that audience has largely gone away, back to where he was. But again, extended through May of 2027, and we'll see what they ultimately choose to do then. Also, he doesn't need to work if he doesn't want to. He has done so well for himself. He's made so much money. I could see a situation. I could see a universe where he just says to himself, I don't want to do this anymore. I've done the show for a long time, and let's enjoy retirement or whatever else the next phase looks like.
On his terms or whatever it is. Yeah.
President Trump, meantime, not known for biting his tongue, and
no.
Have we heard from him today? Is that a matter? Any word from the president on this, or are we still kind of in standby mode?
Yeah, I believe we're in standby mode for that. I checked as I was walking up, and I hadn't seen that he said anything yet. I'm with you, though. We're not one to bite his tongue. I would be surprised if he didn't say anything just about how horrible of a decision he thinks this is.
Right.
So I guess stay tuned for that.
We'll have to stay tuned for that. All right. One other thing we wanted to talk about with you is, okay, I understand there was an appearance by a very well-known celebrity power couple that was surprising to some. Get us up to speed there.
So Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, I think we're one of the more popular couples in Hollywood. There has been a lot of talk, and they began dating in April of 2023. So they've been together for some time here now, for over 2 years. But there's been some talk that they have broken up, that the relationship fizzled out, or that Timothy, for whatever reason, broke up with Kylie Jenner. Not the case. He's got this movie, Marty Supreme, coming out, which I know a lot of people are really excited about. And they had the big premiere in Los Angeles. And not only were they on the red carpet together, not only are they kind of hugging and packing on the PDA, they wore matching outfits.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what says you're together more than matching orange outfits. And that's what they had on.
Oh, I'm cheering for them. I think they're darling. What do you think?
I like them too.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I've been taking note. So Timothy Chalamet, in my mind, just has a legendary head of hair. Those curly locks. I mean, he looks like I don't know, like a.
I could not agree more.
So I'm getting used to. I'm trying to get used to him with the shaved head look.
Oh,
Michael, I feel like now he looks like an awkward 16-year-old.
Wait, I got to see this
you're right. He does look younger. I like the longer hair. I mean,
you got to Google this because he's got a buzz cut now. Is that for his new role, the buzz cut? Is this the Marty
it's the movie
Supreme.
about the ping pong player. Yeah, yeah. It's loosely based off of a ping pong player from the 50s who was like this really eccentric guy from New York City. And apparently, at least from people that have seen the movie, critics, there's a lot of buzz that this could win him some pretty big awards this award season. So if you're into any of that, those kind of things, I think this could be a big movie, not just at the box office, which I'm sure it'll also do really well, but it comes out around Christmas. But I think, yeah, you know, Oscars, who knows?
He is an incredible actor.
You said it was something with the paddle?
Is a ping pong. Oh, he's got a paddle.
He's got a paddle.
Yeah,
like a merce.
A merce.
A paddle merce.
Caitlin pulled up the images. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at their orange.
I did not notice that. The orange outfit. I think that's my eyes just.
Oh my gosh! I'm going to quote Michael. Nothing says you're together like matching orange outfits.
Yeah, and I bet the Kardashians picked those outfits.
Oh,
they do look edgy and cool.
For sure. Michael.
It probably wasn't him.
Good to see you, sir. Have a great rest of your week. If we don't see you
next week, guys.
Okay, sounds good, sir. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, 2 years for them, that's an eternity in Hollywood years,
yeah,
isn't it?
It's kind of a surprising couple, I guess. He's young, no kids, she's got babies.
And she does have babies?
Yes, she's got babies. How many babies does Kylie have? Gabby, does she have two? Two babies?
2 babies. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't have my Kardashian. I've never seen the show. I don't have my Kardashian drama. I'm not really up to date.
It's not your algorithm?
Well, one thing I have been following, I don't know if it's just because it crosses my social media feed, but that Kim, she's the oldest, right?
No, Courtney is the oldest, I think. Right?
That she's trying to pass the bar exam. And I admire that. I admire that effort that she's trying to pass the bar exam because she plays a lawyer in a show.
Right.
That I know. Maybe I know more about the Kardashians than I'm letting on.
I don't really.
But I do know the bar exam is no joke.
And she's taken the baby bar and failed it, right? Or did she pass the baby bar?
Wait, what's the baby bar? Is that a?
She passed it. She passed the baby bar. She passed the baby bar.
What? We have Gabriella at the
Were you the one that did that interview with me? We talked about.
Wait, there's a baby bar exam and a real bar exam? Or are we getting into?
I think so, but listen, I don't really. Kardashian fans that are watching us right now are just going to be so upset.
I do. Okay, outsider perspective. I don't follow this family. It just struck me. So Timothée Chalamet, have you seen any of his movies, Kate?
Yeah.
He is incredible.
Yeah.
He made this movie where he starred as a teenage, a drug addict teenage son of Steve Carell. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was one of those performances where I was like, I don't know how anyone can act that well.
Really?
Yes. And there was another movie called Call Me by Your Name where he was unbelievable. Very
Johnny Cash?
artsy.
Wasn't he Johnny Cash?
No, he was Bob Dylan. That I haven't seen yet. He was Bob Dylan.
Oh, okay.
He seems like such a kind of like one of those New York, NYU, artsy type guy.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wouldn't have, as an outsider to this whole thing, I would not have put him with a socialite.
No,
you know
right.
what I mean? Like a socialite where it's like, you know.
But in LA, it's probably a small world.
Yeah.
They probably all run in the same circles. They're going to the same parties. They bump into each other. They're both good looking. They probably both have great personalities, I would guess. At least charismatic. So we had a sign held up. Hey, Brad, what did you... Did I say
did he have the name of the...
Remember the AI snowsuits you wanted?
Oh, do we have an image?
Yeah,
okay, this is... Yeah.
Oh, the snowsuits. Okay, wait, no. But the top has to be attached to the bottom. Like a full...
This is how spoiled we are, Brad. You serve us up something that is like 95% accurate, but we're going to nitpick.
Okay.
Oh, Caitlin is. Oh, there we go.
No, Brad, you're missing the boat here. What I mean is, when you have little kids, you buy these snowsuits. It's a one and done with a zipper up the front. You don't need to have different pants and a coat together. You just have it all at one time. And that's what I'm talking about. So that you're walking out the door, because your legs will get cold.
I get it. I get it.
That's extra effort there at the top.
Stylish onesie. What is it called where, is it like après ski? What was it? What is the phrase?
APRES.
It's like the stylish ski wear. I think there's a whole subcategory of fashion.
You know what this was? It's a 70s thing, or like a throwback kind of like hippie vibe look. Or the 80s. Picture in your mind an 80s snowsuit. people going skiing with their big, you know, bands around their ears
Sure.
and the bright colors on their snowsuits. Something like that, but like stylish for today.
We just need a celebrity to get on board.
I'll try to do my
and we can all
AI.
retire. We can all retire. I will say, you know, you're comparing it to, you know, kids versions of events for adults.
Yes.
There were so many of Jero and Theo's clothes.
That you're like, I wish I had that.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. A lot of their shirts and shorts. Jero had this one pair where it was a pair of shorts, but it had little like dinosaur scales on the side that stuck out. Like little crocodile. I'm like, I would wear that for sure.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely wear that. They need to make
more convenient. I'm putting it into the AI machine right now, so we'll see what
we'll churn it out.
I don't know how to take the next step in that process.
We are going to go to a quick break, but we are going to be joined by a comedic legend. We've talked to him before.
Yeah.
Mr. Tommy Davidson. Okay, he is about to make a trip to our fair city for an exclusive 3-night engagement at the Improv. So we look forward to, this is happening December 12th through 15th. And Tommy Davidson is going to join Caitlin and me very, very shortly when we come back after this, everybody.
I'm going to find this one piece.
Good news.
$10:22. Do you have a fur baby at home? Well, they deserve to be spoiled too. This morning we are joined by Ed Kazmarek. Did I get it?
You got
Ed
it.
Kazmarek.
Perfect.
He's a co-founder of Urban Pooch Canine Life Center and Urban Pooch Training and Fitness Center. So he's here today to break down some ideas. We did, you know, the kids' gifts yesterday. Let's talk about the pooch's presents today.
You know, it's important because I think for many households, the pooches are as beloved as the children.
If not more.
So there you go. So we definitely, every year, we put together a holiday gift guide for your urban pooch.
Okay.
In Chicago. And, you know, advent calendars have been around forever with children.
Yeah.
And the last 3 years, they've been doing them for dogs. This is brand new for 2025. It's by Fringe Studio. It's 12 days of toys.
Ooh.
So
that's cute.
This is just an example. You would open it up, and out is, you know, a fun
cute little nutcracker.
soldier. You can, they even have, this is like a little, that's very loud,
Our neighbor
right?
dog. the German Shepherd Frankie, who lives next door to us, and I just love Frankie.
All the dogs at home right now are like, what is that?
She has, I believe, this thing, because I know this sound.
And when they put it in their mouth,
oh yeah, they
forever,
just love it.
That's so
forever and ever.
That's
and something very simple. This is a Christmas tree, not only a treat dispenser, but a chew toy. You put your treats in the bottom, and then the dog just rolls it around and shakes it. And it's like an enrichment toy because they have to think about it.
Yeah.
My dog will lift it up in the air and throw it.
Oh my goodness.
Because when it hits, most of the stuff comes out. So
is that
they're good at figuring out the shortest distance between 2 points.
Soda Pop.
Soda Pop.
There's Soda Pop. I know. There's so many different brands that have come about over the years, and they're very popular for durable toys.
Cute. Okay.
And we also have the Advent calendar from Bocce's Bakery, which are little treats and also brushy sticks.
Oh, for
their little teethers, you know, to keep
those
them clean.
or whatever.
And down here, we have the Tuffy's holiday wreath, and it is on the chew scale. It's a 9 out of 10.
Whoa.
It's multi-layer. It's like triple stitched, and it has squeakers in, but a dog will not destroy it. So it's great for fun all season.
So the higher on the chew scale, the more durable
the better it is. And this is 9 out of 10.
Wow, it doesn't get much more durable than that.
It is. So you can throw it, you can toss it, and it comes in both the junior size and the medium size.
This thing is solid.
And
let's see.
You know,
it
definitely is. So it's
feels
definitely
like a 9 to
made
me.
for the tough chewers.
Yeah.
And to get you into 8 days of fun for Hanukkah, we have the floppy Hanukkah mousse, and this is just the you know, the smaller version, but it has squeakers and all the feet and everything, and it's just extra fun, you know, for those dogs that celebrate Hanukkah.
Oh, cute.
So we have that, and in front of the floppy Hanukkah, we have the Spicy Sisters. We have Betty, Gingerbread Girl, and her younger sister, Sally.
This is Betty, darling. That's Sally.
Yes, and these are made by a company out of Michigan called Fluff and Tough. And a lot of times these are very durable. They're made at the same factory as children's toys.
All right.
Because dog toys really have come to that level. And a lot of times they have fun squeakers, but a lot of times Fluff and Tough are the toys that your dog cuddles and sleeps with.
Okay.
But feels like a 7 to me. It feels pretty. It feels pretty tough, I will say.
You know what? These are tough girls.
Okay.
The bow won't come off easily.
Nancy and Sally.
Yeah. So they're definitely a lot of fun. And then down here we have licking mats. In a stocking and Christmas tree. And the interesting thing, these have been on the scene for probably a little over 5 years. You spread your dog's favorite treat. I use unsweetened applesauce and peanut butter. You pop it in the freezer, and it forces them to slow down and lick. And when a dog licks, it releases endorphins. So it actually brings them a lot of pleasure. That's why we always wonder why our dogs lick us. Not only because they love us, but it actually feels good.
What do the spatulas do then?
So the spatulas, normally, these just come with a spatula because they're a special edition holiday, but you use the spatula to spread things on. And the great thing is these are silicone, so you can pop them in the top of the dishwasher, and they come.
Problem.
And a nice day, I'd throw that bad boy outside because the licking, as an overstimulated mom, I'm like, stop it. Stop licking yourself. Yes.
Oh, so they're self-soothing then. It's just what I just learned. I'm not a dog owner. We have a cat.
It does. Right. I think a lot of people now, there are so many different brands of lick mats. The whole market was started by a company called Licky Mats out of Australia, and it's just exploded.
Makes sense.
So last but not least, I think this is the last thing. This array of treats here.
And it's a way to have your dog sample the tastes of the holiday season. We have Santa's cookies, which are goat milk and duck. We have Holiday Feast, which is duck and cranberry. And then we have the Holiday Roast, which is roast beef and pumpkin. And two of them are jerky treats, so they're a little chewier. They're almost all meat with just, the little safe additive. And the other is just a traditional treat.
I love this. Okay, Ed, if people want to find these select items, I know you shouted out a business in Michigan, maybe this online. Where could people go?
The treats come from California. I'm reading that right now. That's fancy stuff.
I love it. So they can go to urbanpooch.com and then click at the very top of our webpage for our Urban Pooch 2025 holiday gift guide.
I love that.
Very good. For your own pets, where do you gravitate? I know I don't want to put you on the spot too much to play favorites.
I have a Welsh Terrier, and he loves the licking mats, but he also loves to chew. So we go with the Tuffy, but every once in a while he loves to destroy toys. So every once in a while we'll give him that toy to destroy, and we know he's having a good time.
Oh, that's sweet.
Price points on some of these?
You know what? Some of them are $9.99. And this is $79.
Yeah, that's a big boy. That's the gift that keeps on giving all month.
This is really, like, if you want to bring a great holiday gift to dog lovers, walk in the door with this because it's brand new on the scene, so they've never seen it before. And they're quality toys.
They're cute. They really are. You could set it up as a decoration even.
We even have Santa.
There's
we even have Santa up here.
That's fun.
So it is a lot of fun. Of course, as they get more expensive, they're not for everyone.
Right.
But
I like this.
This is great. So you got a whole gift guide on your website. Before we let you go, Ed, it's like I'm telling you, Frankie next door, our beloved German Shepherd neighbor, has one of those. And the whole neighborhood knows when he's outside.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I feel like that would feel good on their little teeth. My little old man Luke would probably love that.
So tell us, before we let you go, Ed, where folks can find you here in the city. Urban Pooch.
So Urban Pooch Canine Life Center is on Ravenswood and Sunnyside, and tomorrow begins our 16th year here in Chicago.
I knew you guys are so familiar. We used to live right at like Ravenswood up north of Foster. So I'd walk. I knew that.
We're very lucky to be in a great neighborhood.
The logo and everything. It's a great. It's a very dog-friendly neighborhood as well. There's tons of pooches.
Is it like dog daycare?
It's dog daycare, grooming, bathing, massage, lodging, and we have Chicago's best pet retail store right in the front, 1,200 square feet of like Nirvana for dogs, and we even have a lot of cat stuff too. Lots of dog owners have cats as well.
Brad, do you have that screenshot I sent you? I'm proud of my boy. I checked out his Christmas list before it was delivered by our elf up to the North Pole. But he listed, there you go. See up in the upper right, that's supposed to say Jonesy. That's our cat, Jonesy. He wants a life supply of treats, 2 toys, and other friends, so another cat. So there you go. Life supply of treats.
Isn't that great?
That's going to be tough. But if
another cat, so is Santa bringing another cat?
We'll see. He wants a friend. We'll have to see what Santa decides. Ed, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can borrow one of my dogs if you want.
Yeah, I'll foster it for a little bit, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
You too. We'll be right back with more Chicago Now right after this, everybody. right, so now that we are experts in pet giving this holiday season, what do you tend to lean toward? You got two big pooches, you said, right? What do you tend to lean toward?
Like gifts for them?
Yeah, does Santa or you guys, do you guys tend to
I think we used
fill
to.
his stocking?
Before we had kids, absolutely. They were my babies. They were my kids. Since having children, those two boys get enough treats from my actual kids that I should buy them toys or something. But I mean, my kids' toys are around if they want to pick it up. Like Luke, my old man, he's a border collie mix. He will pick up the stuffies and carry them around and like
he
be
will.
his babies. And the treats, like I said, the food, those guys, they'll sit around the high chair and they get fed all day.
Oh, they're spoiled.
Spoiled.
How old are your pooches?
They're old.
They're old. Okay.
Yeah, how old is
you know,
Luke?
so when they were kids, Santa would bring them stuff.
I used to take my dogs.
So they're adult dogs.
They were spoiled rotten, those two. Yeah, take them to the dog park. I would run with them every single day. But no, Luke is probably 12 or 13, and Charlie, my golden, he's probably about 10. But they're great. They're great. I joke about giving them away all the time, but we love
this actually could get pricey. But I'm going to tell you, we might have to get a heated outdoor house for our cat. Yeah, well, he's an indoor-outdoor cat.
Oh, I heard
and he's been trying to escape every time I'm leaving for work at like 3 a.m. And so it's like this game between us. So but I worry about the cat.
Yeah.
You know, in 12-degree weather, and so I want to plug in little thing.
I saw something that you can create. Look it up.
Okay.
It's like out of like a storage container, like a plastic storage bin, you put two one inside the other, and then the first one
insulation?
puts hay inside, and the second one acts as a barrier from the cold, and then you cut a hole in the side.
Send me the link. I need something to keep this little kitty warm.
Yeah, you gotta protect your kitty.
All right, we have a very special guest joining us via Zoom. He is about to appear here in Chicago. Mr. Tommy Davidson, can you hear me okay, sir?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you enough.
Okay, you can hear us enough. I'm a little embarrassed at what I was just talking about, Tommy, because I'm talking about cat safety during the winter months, which, as you know, you've come to Chicago a lot. It gets cold around here. Tell us about your upcoming shows. December shows. You got 3 nights going at the Improv.
Hold on, did you say cat safety?
Cats.
Yeah, like kitty cats.
Kitty cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you a cat guy or a dog guy?
I just wanted to make sure I heard the right thing. I'm like, cat safety? Okay.
I know.
You know, cats are independent, man. They, they'll cheat on you quick. They'll just leave you,
for sure.
You know what I mean, in the winter.
And then they'll bring you some treats back that are maybe little creatures you don't really want.
It's true. My cat actually, brought me back a chipmunk. It was,
so proud too,
a live one. Tommy, where are you joining us from today? It looks sunny where you are.
I'm in sunny Orange County, California.
Yes. Yeah, we're jealous. Can you tell us about your history with Chicago in case someone is just watching for the first time?
My history with Chicago started with comedy years and years ago, doing stand-up there. I'm going to forget the name of the club, but they were brothers. And that was my first gig there. And then the connection there, and this was in probably like 89. So what happened was, with the cast of In Living Color, half of that a good part of that cast was from Chicago, from the improv group there. So hooking up with those cats, getting to know them, brought me to Chicago a lot. And then my connection with the improv in Schaumburg started probably about 25 years ago. And that was me becoming really, really good friends with the owner, Tony Baldini, and Stephanie, and they're like family, and it just went from there. You know, Chicago, you know, you kind of get used to it, you know?
Well, so 25 years ago, you first connected with the improv. By this point, I'm guessing you have some go-to spots or places you stay or food you might want to check out when you come to the city of Chicago. What kind of comes to the top of your mind when you think about what you want to do while you're here in the Windy City?
I want to stay in the suburbs of Chicago, because it's so. And usually when I come to Chicago, it's around Christmas, so it's really convenient because what? Schaumburg Mall's right there.
That's
Texas
right.
State Brazil's right there. We can go to the movies right there. You know, you go into town, it's bam, you're right in the traffic. It's beautiful there though, because you get the deep dish, you get pastrami or anything you want. It's Chicago. Okay. And some of the most beautiful things happened to me there. I actually went to the Bozo studio.
Oh.
In Chicago.
The Bozo studio.
Yes, I've been there myself. As a kid, we went to Bozo's Circus. Like, did you see like the grand prize game and all that, or were you just in the same studio? Okay.
Bozo Bucket Bonanza, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
That's going back.
Okay.
And to me, Chicago's the world. You know what I mean? It's just like everyone's there. Mm-hmm. You're not going to run out of something. You're not going to run out of a variety of food and people.
How many weeks / months of the year are you on the road, Tommy, these days?
Probably about 200, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Gosh.
A lot.
Somewhere
Traveling a lot. So if people haven't seen you, even though you're traveling all the time, what kind of comedy do you offer?
Well, you know, one of the things I'd offer to you guys is there was a guy, well, not even just a guy, but he went from being a governor there, I think a governor,
oh, wow.
and a really important
That's good.
politician in Illinois, to the White House. And
So
that was
Obama
something
comes.
significant. He started out looking like Barack Obama and ended up looking like Benson. But I think that's what happens to people when they get involved in that big house. So, but one of the things I loved about him is that he can take something that is not important and make it sound presidentially and governmentally important. Like, let's take an example for, let's say, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. They're part of an essential breakfast. Tony the Tiger has this really swanky blue bandana. That doesn't mean he's a Crip, it just means he's hip. He does things with children, activities with children, not like Michael Jackson. That's a long story, and I don't even know if that was true. But not only are they a part of an essential breakfast, because you see them advertised with a carafe of orange juice and a carafe of milk and bananas. It's a part of that essential breakfast. So what Kellogg's Frosted Flakes are is they're a part of an essential breakfast. They got Tony the Tiger, who is hip, and on top of everything else, they're great.
You are amazing.
Barack Obama, I'd never noticed that. He does have a knack for making everything sound uber important. Tommy, that is spot on.
Take your glasses off and become a new person.
Oh my gosh.
I'll do it
From 0
again.
to 100.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm sure that a lot of people aren't familiar with this guy, but Christmas is his time because usually he takes his high out and hangs it on the tree. They don't really match, but he has a way of getting to people, and he's one of my favorites, Sammy Davis Jr. And he loves music, you know. They say some people long ago were looking for some brand new news, one that they can use like no other. And if you excuse me, I'm going to hang this on the tree, okay? And go play with my spindle. Anyway, so
I love it. I love it.
Reminds me of Vegas. And okay, so you've been on the road so much, 200 days out of the year. I'm curious, over these decades, Tommy, is there anything that stands out to you? Do audiences vary by region or city? And if so, how would you characterize the audiences that you tend to face in Chicagoland?
Man, it's the melting pot of the middle, you know, of the middle of our country, you know. So I mean, ever since, I think we got the grooviest country ever, man. Let's say the movie Grapes of Wrath, you know, about the Depression and people and the farms going dry and people looking for a dream. You know, New York City's a little far from Nebraska and Arkansas and, you know, Indiana, you know, Milwaukee, you know, and there was a place that they can go. There was a cosmopolitan alternative. And this city was populated by all these different ethnic groups, but we're at the same time eclectic. You know, so like New York, it took in a whole lot of people who didn't know where they were going to end up. And somehow they were able to make a life for themselves in our cities. And I think Chicago is one of the most important ones. So many things were born there. Jazz, the whole mix of urban cultures, you know, and we just need it. You know, this was a big part of how I became, you know, because I mean, it's just Peoria, South Bend. I mean, you drive outside of the city itself, and on the fringes, our whole world, you know. So it's almost like, you know, like Dallas, where it's just surrounded with all of these people from different backgrounds, being a dispenser of happy, which I realized I was at some point. You know, when I show up somewhere in this country, people react like, where are you playing? You know what I mean? It's not like I work at the airport in luggage where they go, where are my damn bags, man? You know, so I get the best of the best and the best of us, you know, and I love what I do because I can say simple things to a lot of people. And even though we have some challenges in this country, one of the challenges isn't that we aren't really, really balanced with each other. And I'm talking about person to person, person to person. You know, there's things you can't control, but one thing's for sure, you know, everybody loves the Bears.
Oh yeah, this year especially.
I mean, come on, we're talking about
Bears.
culturally, right? There's a number 23.
Oh yeah.
I mean, shall I go on here? There's the Jazz. It just goes on and on from Quincy Jones to Dick Gregory. I mean, even our guy, you know, oh, and those Saints go marching. None of them have not been to Chicago.
That's right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Beautiful.
No, there's
set.
so many. There's very well stated, Tommy. We're so psyched to have you back in town. For folks who want to check you out, I don't know if there's any tickets left for these shows, but what's the deal? If people want to score some tickets to see Tommy Davidson at the Improv,
It's easy. It's easy. It's the Improv in Schaumburg. You know, tickets aren't hard to find. You know, and I'll be there.
how big is the
Thursday
room? How big
through
is that room?
Sunday.
I haven't been to the Improv out in Schaumburg.
It really is nice. It really is nice. You know, it. Anytime black folks come all the way from the city, there, it's nice.
Hey.
Have
Can't
a
wait to
great
have you in
show.
town. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Honored to talk to you.
And your love for Chicago shines
Exactly.
through. We've got
It really
pride.
does. Thank you.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, man. Thank you
Love it.
guys, man.
All right.
Have a great
Tommy
day.
Davidson, everybody. We're going to take a quick break. More Chicago Now. We're going to talk about this study that's coming out of Northwestern University. They have looked at the impact that video gaming is having on our psyches.
Ooh, is it good or bad?
Okay? Well, we shall see.
Oh, I'm curious.
That's called a tease.
Yeah.
I got kids who are addicted to sports games.
Oh, the Roblox for my daughter.
Roblox, yes.
It's a problem.
There's a game called Steal a Brain Rot. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
They're actually just calling it what it is, brain rot.
Brain
I
rot.
don't know much about it. We're going to run through the findings of
Are we going to commercial? Or
this
are we gonna
Northwestern study when we come back right after this,
Commercial?
everybody.
In life.
10:52, just about, and we are talking about video games. Maybe you're thinking Santa is going to go shopping for your kiddos and they want some new video games. This might change your mind.
Hey, yes indeed. They can be addicting, and there is a new study from Northwestern saying that negative ratings of a video game might determine if a gamer is quote-unquote out of control. So we want to learn more about this study with Julian Runch. He is a Northwestern marketing researcher and the author of this study. Julian, thank you so much for joining us here on Chicago Now. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So this is interesting to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying, or one of the findings here is saying that if a gamer dislikes a game, sometimes if they're out of control with it, they'll actually devote more time and more money to this game rather than ceasing playing it altogether. Explain this. This seems like a paradox to me.
Right, exactly. Let's go back to, big data is a big topic these days, right? Because we all have smartphones, there's a lot of data being collected by companies, and the starting point for this study was actually, is there anything in this data that we could use to identify users who struggle with maybe overuse, overconsumption of a digital experience? And a very common survey that marketers like to run is the Net Promoter Score survey. It's that question that asks you, how likely are you to recommend this product or service to a friend or a colleague? And then you rate that from 0 to 10. I'm sure you've all seen this. Many hotels send it out, many websites after you make a purchase. And so what I find is that there's gamers who will rate the game really low in this survey, but then go on to spend tens of hours in the game and substantial amounts of money. And the point of the study is basically to say, hey, it could be that these gamers struggle a little bit with, overdoing it, and maybe we could assist them with finding a better consumption level so everybody's better off in the end.
Do you find that these people who act this way would have issues in other avenues like gambling or addiction?
Right. So the game that the data come from that I conducted the study on is actually a game with loot boxes. And loot boxes are kind of gambling mechanics in a gamified way, right? They are these virtual boxes that players open and that contain certain virtual goods that they can use in the game then. So I specifically looked for a data set of this sort actually to be able to have a component in the game that is known to be addictive. And I think this is definitely contributing to the fact that we find that a sizable share of the users in this game struggles with this phenomenon that I call NPS inversion. So meaning they rate the game really low, but then continue to spend and play substantially in the game. And the point of the study is mostly just to show, hey, this is there. And look, there's data that is already commonly collected by companies that we could use to identify people who struggle and maybe assist them to help them have a better experience.
Do you feel like these gaming companies will be motivated at all? Because it strikes me that this is almost like a negative reinforcement feedback loop where, hey, if I'm a gaming developer and I say, hey, doesn't matter that they rated my game low, they're going to keep spending, and I'm just going to throw a couple more of those loot boxes, dangle that in front of their eyes, and just keep cashing checks.
That's a very good question. So I think what's actually the next question after this study is if we now intervene using this data, right? If we trigger an informational dialogue to gamers who display this pattern and say could you use a break? Have you had enough for the moment and want to come back later? Think of it or at least I think about it the way as keeping a process or relationship from overheating in the moment. And that can actually strengthen it in the long run. So while at first sight it might seem that, hey, companies may not want to do this because it might harm their profits, I actually think this could make everybody better off because, right, you keep the player from overdoing it in the moment, but that can strengthen the long-term relationship. And especially if we also think about brand sentiment and how consumers feel about a gaming brand and word-of-mouth effects, right? Do they actually recommend the game to others? I think this is not necessarily a negative for companies. Much to the inverse, I would actually expect that it may be a positive for them as well.
That makes a lot of sense. It's more of a marathon model rather than short sprints. That makes sense.
So you say out-of-control gamers. What about for just the normal gamer who can walk away when they feel like they've had enough? Have you found negative consequences from playing games in general?
No, not in this study. And
Okay.
If you ask me as a scientist generally, I'm actually a big proponent of gaming overall. I think it really helps people build skills. And of course, I mean, this is also what motivated this study for me. It's actually that I love gaming and I want to help everybody have a good experience and kind of help us identify the people who may not have a good experience. But so if you think about, you know, AI is a really big topic these days, and many of us are interfacing with AI agents, with chatbots, telling them what to do, prompting them to take on certain tasks that we have. And I actually think that if you've been a gamer, and you have experience like telling machines what to do in a strategy game or something like that, that will actually make you more competent at using AI also. So I do think games have, aside, like the entertainment value aside, I think they have true educational benefits as well. And so, no, I personally actually really am pro games.
Julian, we are out of time, so that's where we're going to have to leave it. But this is some really nuanced, cool information coming from this Northwestern marketing researcher. Julian Runge, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, it's 10:58. We got to go to break now.
Yeah.
Tia and Gabby are waiting in the wings here for another hour of Chicago Now right after this.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. This is the 11 o'clock hour. I'm Tia Ewing.
I'm Gabriela Primus.
It is
Thanks
so
for
good to be with you
on this Tuesday.
We have a lot coming up on the show.
Can I say, though,
sure.
I just was like so brought to life a couple hours ago because we went down to Hyde Park and we went with the Hyde Park Dance School of Dance. I don't know, words are hard, I guess, for me right now. And we were talking about their rendition of the Nutcracker, which is going to be happening the 12th through the 14th.
Okay.
And Tia, this group of kids, they were so cute. They did their mouse battle for us, and they had like a dance-off instead of using the weapons like they do in the traditional dance. Tia, when I tell you it brought me to life today, it was just amazing, and I just had to share that. So please go watch their show, again, happening this weekend.
And very talented, too.
Big time.
May we add.
Of all ages.
Speaking of talented, I don't know if you've ever seen her on TikTok. Jen from Corporate.
Yeah,
have you
so
seen it?
funny.
So I saw her and I was like, man, we got to get her on our show. I watch her videos religiously. She calls up people. She sounds like she's calling from corporate. And the things that she says, one of her key lines is, "I love you." And it kind of comes, it's like she kind of sneaks it in, and the person's on the phone like, what? Well, anyway, she's going to be here to talk all about this. She has more than 1 million followers. I'm just curious how she even started this. Was this during COVID? Anyways, we're going to talk to her. And then you may have noticed around this time of year, you may say yes a lot. We're learning how you can cut your people-pleasing without all the guilt. And it
Are you a person
really
that says yes a lot?
Oh, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I can sense that from you.
Absolutely not.
If you could guess, that's definitely part of my personality trait.
You would say yes a lot?
Yes a lot. I just feel so guilty sometimes when I like cancel a plan or like disappoint somebody. So I think this interview will actually help me out a little bit.
Yeah, no, I've gotten to the age now where no easily rolls off of my tongue.
Yeah, well, you have baby girl and bonus kids to worry about. You know what I mean?
I'm like, I don't have time for that, so no. But first, a new book is taking us inside the White House to meet a new side of some first families who have lived there. I think this is really interesting.
I was thinking the same thing. I cannot wait for this interview. So let's, without further ado, chat with Gary J. Walters, the longest serving chief usher of the White House. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's, right off the bat, how long did you serve as chief usher, and what was your day-to-day like? From what I understand, you pretty much oversaw everything, it feels like.
Well, the chief usher had 3 primary responsibilities. One was for the operation of the president's home and to protect their privacy. The second thing was to provide for the official events of the presidency that took place in the executive residence and on the grounds. And the third was the preservation of our American heritage through the White House Museum. All of our presidents have lived at the White House with the exception of George Washington, who selected the site and saw the early construction of the house. And chief usher is responsible for trying to take care of the house and the family first and foremost. And that's one of the reasons I wrote the book, was to try and give an understanding of the White House as a home, not just a political entity.
I must ask you, because I'm sure you have so many fond memories of just being in that role. What are some of the moments that come to mind from your time being there? That's a very long time. What are some of the memories that you have that you can share with us?
Well, there's so many memories. It's hard to pick and choose just a few that are outstanding, but certainly the scariest day at the White House was 9/11, with all the activities and the situation that was going on with the terrible attack on the World Trade Center in New York and the Pentagon. The second thing that comes immediately to mind was just the day-to-day interaction with the first family. That was one of the things that the chief usher did, probably the only person who had actual access to the president and the first lady every day. And I got to know them through my own eyes, my own ears, and enjoyed the interaction and trying to provide a home for them where they could be comfortable for their time in the White House.
Wow, Gary, that's incredible, because I mean, you're one of the only people who really has that true connection with them. So we have to ask you then, was there a favorite? Was there one that maybe was most exciting and you remember most? I don't know.
Yes, I remember each one of them vividly, and they were all great to me. The presidency is important to our country, and all the presidents who serve are a wonderful group of people, and I don't think the American people understand how much time the individual presidents put in for the American people. And the first ladies and the choices that they make. Childhood education, Mrs. Carter certainly with her work on mental health. And there's so many of the first ladies that do so much for our country. But I served the president and his son. That has to stand out in history for me personally as a real fascination for people. And the differences between the two presidents are great, but every president has been good to me and my family.
I would think that it's really interesting too, because you see them on a public stage, but you're seeing them behind closed doors when they were the family man, when they have to interact with their kids, when there's homework time, and all of those things that I think sometimes we forget is part of their life too, not just carrying the weight of the country. I must ask you, anything that comes to mind in terms of being the president and keeping yourself humble, keeping your mind, kind of clear in some ways, because there is such a weight on your shoulders. You're carrying the whole nation on your shoulders. Anything that you remember vividly about that part of the job?
Yes, it's when the families can get together and be a family. I have vivid memories. One day I was taking some early morning papers to President Carter and also in the Clinton administration to President Clinton. And I ran into them as I was taking this paper to them before they went to the office. And I found them both going over homework with their children before the children went off to school and before they went off to the Oval Office. I had the opportunity to interact with the presidents and their families and get to know them as individuals. And our job in the executive residence was to try and make the presidency the best that it could be for the United States of America and as a world leader.
Was it a sun-up to sundown kind of job, like we would think the presidency is, holding that position would be like? Or are there those times throughout the day where they have, at least during the time that you served, where they have an opportunity to be with their kids, to really sit back, read the newspaper, or do things for themselves?
They try and make some time, but as I said, the American people, I don't think really have a good grasp on how much time each individual president spends trying to make the American people have a better life. Whether you agree with them or not, they spend an inordinate amount of time trying to do that. And I had an opportunity to visit with them at different times of the day and the night and see them behind the scenes, interacting with their family and also grappling with the world situation and what they could do to try and make life easier for not only Americans, but other people around the world.
Gary, I'm just curious of your schedule. Like, was this, you worked 7 days straight and then you get the next week off? Like, how did your schedule work in this huge role that you had?
I actually got to work in the morning a little after 6 o'clock, and I never knew when I was going home at night because it was really contemplation with what the president's schedule was, and unfortunately in this day and age, what the world situation might be. If the president was up early in the morning, I was usually there. If he was up late at night, I was usually there. But there were times when they would make trips overseas when I could get a breather. But the more important thing was that the staff of the executive residence was there to support the presidents in good times and bad times and make their home just that, a home, not just a place to live.
Do you think being chief usher now in 2025 is a lot different than when you served all those years?
I hope not. I haven't really had much contact with the people that are there now. Once you leave the White House, you leave the White House and move on with your life. And but the presidency goes forward, and the people that are there to support them, the wonderful people that work in the executive residence and their staffs, they're there to try and promote the presidency and make the White House an environment that they're comfortable in and they work in.
Gary, your life and your role sound so interesting. It almost sounds like, some of these stories will jump off of the pages and you'll be able to kind of like immerse yourself as a reader into what you experience. I must ask you, would you consider putting this book into a movie form, because it does sound so riveting?
That's something that somebody else will have to discuss. But I'm not trying to look for, I've always said that the secret to longevity is non-notoriety. And so I'm not looking for that kind of thing. In fact, the proceeds from this book if there are any, are going back into the White House Historical Association for their activities in promoting Mrs. Kennedy's ideals in trying to bring the American people to a knowledge base with the residents, its history, and the people who've lived there.
Wow, Gary. Well, thank you for doing that, because I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this book, first of all.
I'm interested.
And it's really nice to hear that it's going to a really good cause. Just if we have people's attention and they are interested in the book, where can they find it?
Yeah, WhiteHouseHistoricalAssociation.org. They're going to be the distributors. I understand it's also on Amazon as of this past Friday.
Well, that's great.
Gary, it sounds like you really don't necessarily want to be in the spotlight, but with a book like this, you may be thrusted kind of in the spotlight. Are you ready for that? Is that something that you will embrace?
I learned a phrase by Mrs. Reagan many years ago: just say no.
Interesting, because we were just talking about that around this time of year, how more people are a little more I guess more likely to say yes. And so it sounds like, Gary, you are not one of those people, and I respect that.
You mentioned some of the first ladies a few times. You know, was it easier almost to connect with the first ladies since they maybe had their hands free a little bit more often?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Was it easier to connect with some of these first ladies versus the actual president because they had less of a full schedule? Because it seems like you brought them up a couple of times.
Well, yeah. One of the things that happens is after the election in November, when it's held, the presidential election, the president and the first lady sitting invite the president-elect and the first lady that are coming into the White House. The chief usher is introduced to the president-elect and to the incoming first lady, and at that point, a conversation begins about their move into the White House, and it's having an opportunity to get to know the incoming family and before inaugural day, and interacting with them and trying to make the house their home on the day that the president takes the oath of office. Actually, we spend a little as 4 or 5 hours on inaugural day changing the house from a house of one president and a home of the president to the home of a second president who's just come into office. And they move into the White House, and our intent is to get their favorite foods in the kitchen and the pantry with their snacks and their favorite clothes hung in the closets, and no boxes unopened, and everything where they want it placed. So we try and establish that responsibility and closeness to the first family from day one.
Well, I am interested in this book, and I know a lot of viewers that are watching right now are too. White House Memories by Gary J. Walters. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending some time and saying yes to this interview. We appreciate it.
And I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. This sounds like a great book to get people for the holidays.
History buff, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait to read his book, because we saw some of the photographs there, and one of my next questions for him was going to be, you know, all that's happened during that time frame, 1970 to 2007, so much. We're just going to have to read it.
And I wanted to know what other pictures, you know, were inside, and then did he have to get approval from those presidents to then show those images? I had so many questions, but so little time. But yeah, that was a really good interview. A lot of interesting facts.
Another one
coming out of that. All right, have you ever had corporate to call your phone? Maybe not here, maybe at a previous job in the past.
No.
What would you do? What do you do, you know, if corporate gets on the line?
I think like a lot of other people would. They would act like they know exactly who they're talking to, right?
And that's
in the off chance that it actually is someone from the corporate office.
All right, well, we're going to talk to Jen from corporate. She's coming up right after this break. I absolutely love her content. I'm sure you've seen it by now. If you haven't, because we're talking about it, and if your phone is nearby, it's going to pick up in the algorithm, and it'll show up later on today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
'Tis the season.
rotisserie chicken. I'm just calling back about... Wait, Julianne?
Yeah.
Julianne, how are you?
Who is this?
Julianne, you know who this is.
Sarah?
Yes!
Hey, sorry.
Hey.
There were just like 5 people standing there staring at me.
God, I'm in the hospital right now.
Okay,
My daughter
so let me say this, first of all, I can watch these videos back to back to back all day, and I have. Meet Jen from corporate. If you have never seen it before, hopefully it ends up in your algorithm. She is absolutely hilarious. Her real name is Kate, and when I saw the last video, I can't remember what it was now, I said we have to get you on this show.
Yes.
Because I thoroughly enjoy your content. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, I gotta ask, how did you find yourself with this kind of being your lane?
So I have a landline still. I know, like, ancient artifact. A lot of people are like, is that a remote control? I'm like, no, surprise, it's a phone. I live home with my parents still, and there are constant spam calls that the home phone gets all day. I have no idea why. I just picked up the phone and recorded myself being just funny to a spam caller. They asked to speak to my dad, and I was like, no. And they weren't expecting that. They had a funny reaction, and I posted it, and it just went viral. People in the comments were like, oh my God, more, do more. I'm like, do more. So I answered more more spam calls that we had in my house, and then I kind of just turned it into my own thing. When the spam calls kept running out, I was like, I need more content. So I started being the spam caller.
I love it. So funny. How long ago did you start this? And were you surprised to see how many people enjoyed it?
Yeah, so I actually had an account like 4 years ago that almost reached 1 million followers, and it got just deleted, banned. I have no idea what happened. So I took a couple years off, and my boyfriend was like, you know, you should just post one of your old prank calls again, just for fun. People miss you. I had people finding my personal Instagram and messaging me and be like, when are you going to post again? So I had posted an old clip from a couple years ago, and I saw that the people were still interested and knew who I was still. So I just posted a few years ago. I started this account, and now we're almost at 1.2 million. So I'm happy I restarted, finally reached 1 million and more.
We are too. We're happy you restarted.
Me too, because it literally brings joy to my day every single day. So listen, I had no idea up until you just said you're one of the few people with a house phone, a landline. I'm just now looking at that phone in your hand and realizing that is like a cordless phone.
Yeah, I thought it was a prop, honestly.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That is my cordless phone. Yeah, my parents still have a landline, and that's what I use, because I started using that because I have to record with my cell phone the videos. So I was like, I need a phone. My mom's not always home. I can't use her phone all the time. So I started using the landline.
So let me ask you, is it now the situation that you've become so popular that people are like, call my mom, call my dad, prank them? How are you getting all these people that you're pranking on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's been great. At first, I really built my platform up by just calling random businesses and stores myself. And then I had a lot of people that were like, please, I need this service. I need to prank my loved one, my enemy, my old boss, my coworker, so many different requests. So I just started taking requests like 3 months ago, and I do that through Cameo, and I've been one of their top talent on the leaderboard since.
Really?
Just rapidly requests. Yeah, it's been great.
Okay, that's awesome. That's good to know. All right. So one of my favorite, like, my sense of humor is totally like prank calling. I like live for it as a kid. Were you one of those people at the sleepover that would be like the person on the phone prank calling? Yeah, because you can keep the straight face. How do you keep the straight face?
I feel like that's so important for also the humor in the call too. Like the fact that I'm just like deadpan and monotone the whole time while I'm saying this like absurd stuff. And it just like makes the Jen from corporate character. She's serious.
I have to ask, what made you come up with Jen? And then your tagline in all of this is, I love you. What made you come up with the name? And then you say, I love you, and some people are like, what? Like, what is happening? And then others, because they feel like they're on the hook, they're like, okay, well, I love you too.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jen, just a really short name that rolled off of my tongue one day, and I just stuck with Jen. It was super random, happened so naturally. I didn't really plan for this like persona to be born. And then the corporate part came from just random. Again, I said Jen from corporate, but what made me stick with the corporate part and using that was when I saw the attitude of the person just completely 360 changed. Like, they were obedient, they listened, they did what I said, and I was like, yeah, this is such a way to manipulate and control how I want the conversation to go to make great content. So the minute I pull out Jen from corporate, I know they're gonna listen to me.
Oh yeah, we had a couple people on our list that we
wanted you to prank call.
Yeah, when you come in person next time, okay, because you're invited to Chicago officially, you're gonna sit next to us in one of these nice chairs.
Oh God,
and
yes.
we have a list of people. Hopefully they won't swear on those. Have you had any requests for famous people? Like, or has there been any like memorable calls that you've had recently?
No famous people yet, but a memorable call for me was getting somebody to like physically moo like a cow. I said there was a corporate competition going on, you know, Jen from corporate's competitions, and I said the best animal impression of a cow mooing, you know, they win. And I actually got a person to do that, because at first they were like, no, I'm not gonna do that, like I'm not gonna moo, I'm in the office. And I was like, ma'am, this is corporate, like you have to do that. And they just didn't feel like they could opt out after I said that.
Oh my God.
The ghost to that call.
Yes, the ghost with asthma. It wasn't that long ago.
With asthma.
So funny. Oh my gosh. Or like when you were in jail or something. And so that makes me think too, because people in the comments are like, so what happens when Robin like comes to work? Because
there's no Jen from corporate.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, this is Robin. I don't know, you tell the story. But is there like some kind of callback that you do after acting as Jen from corporate to say, hey, just so you know, this was all a prank, like no fret?
In the beginning, I because I used to just call people before I took requests. I figured the people would just figure it out, because like on the other end, they'd be like, oh, but I just saw you went to the bathroom. So that person obviously came back from the bathroom, and they laughed about it after when they got I just got a crazy call, somebody said, but now when I get these requests, it's mostly like people booking them for their spouses, and I get a lot of wives and husbands messing with each other, and it's just so funny. I had one the other day where a husband just spent all his time putting up the Christmas lights, and the wife requested me immediately after for a 24-hour call, so I did it the next day, and wanted me to tell him he has to take all those Christmas lights down. We're gonna find him. And so obviously he had a huge fit. He's like, I'm not taking the lights down. You're gonna have to come here, take them down yourself. The wife was in the background laughing. They laughed about it after, and it's just so funny.
I heard one where you told the guy you got to take the fence down. And I thought that one was...
Or the wood chips. That one's really popular from you, where he only could have a certain amount of wood chips. Yeah, that was funny. So you're kind of like a rage baiter. Really, is what you are. You're a rage baiter.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the cool kids are saying. Yeah.
100%.
Well,
I just sit here with a smile on the other end.
I must ask you, because we've talked to a lot of influencers who really, it sounds like in your case, you weren't really kind of looking for this, but it like turned out that there's this like explosion of popularity. How has this reshaped your life? What were you doing before versus how are how's your life going now?
Yeah.
It's going great. I'm still living a relatively normal life. I'm home with parents still, but through this has given a lot of opportunities for me. I'm really actively now trying to take all this love for like acting and being Jen from corporate, and I really am trying to get into acting. So I'm auditioning through 3 Arts and for Entertainment. I get my auditions, and I'm trying to book my first role right now. I'm trying to do brand deals. It's been great. I got to go on Z100 last April Fool's and prank call on the radio on iHeartRadio. That was super fun. And now obviously opportunities like this, being here with you guys, it's been great. And I honestly think that this is just the beginning and I'm scratching the surface.
I think so too. You're definitely going to get something good.
Maybe like something like with one of these phone companies or something, they're rolling out a new phone and it shows some feature or whatever, and you're the person.
I've been saying it. Verizon, T-Mobile, one of you guys hit me up.
I can see it. I totally can see it. Random question, are you on the East Coast? Because I hear like an East Coast accent, I think.
Yeah, I am from Jersey, born and raised.
All right, perfect. Yeah. That's what I thought. I love this. You're exactly how I envision you to be.
Yeah, you're
personable.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this like pretty much all your content? I guess I haven't like actually. I just follow you, and so I see you on like my page, my followers page. But is it mostly across the board, like doing these prank calls? How many do you try to do a day?
So right now I'm focusing on my Cameo requests, and when I'm booked and busy, I'm doing upwards to like 60 calls a day.
60 calls a day?
Yeah, people are requesting them. And the holiday seasons are coming around, so what better way and what better gift to give this season than a prank to one of your loved ones?
That is good.
It'll be great.
I must ask you, without getting too into your business, but I'm just thinking, you want to get into acting. A lot of times you hear actors, actresses say there's a lot of downtime. They're looking for gigs. They're waiting tables until they can get the next thing because they don't have that money coming through. Does this help with that because you constantly have, income coming in?
Yeah, Cameo has been life-changing. Cameo has been trying to get me to work with them for years now, and I guess I just didn't think that people would actually spend their hard-earned money and want to prank people, but they do. And I am booked and I'm busy, and I only have 3 days to complete each call, so I'm getting them done, I'm getting them out, and I do 24-hour calls where they're like Amazon Prime fast shipping prank calls, so I make sure I get it done the next day. And so yeah, I'm making sure I'm on top of it. It's like my little business. I turned prank calling into a little business, and I am so grateful and loving everything that has come my way so far.
So I'm thinking right now, I want to hit you up because I got the perfect person for you to prank call. Out of curiosity, if someone wants this, maybe our viewers will be watching now and they're like, this is a different kind of gift. I could be down for this. What is the cost of a general prank call from you?
So right now I have it on my website for $39. And a lot of people just offer like videos, like a lot of celebrities on the app, you can pay like upwards to like $300 for just a video of somebody saying hi. But at least I'm providing a service here, people. You're getting a laugh, I'm providing a service, and only $40. So cheap Christmas gift this year.
Have you ever called somebody up and they went bonkers and you couldn't really like record or like show the call because maybe their reaction was a little, they were like, Jen, get off my phone.
No, those are the reactions I'm looking for. Those are the ones that we love.
She's a rage baiter.
I rage baited them enough to get a reaction, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's going viral. But obviously, I only post calls with like consent. So when people are like requesting calls, if they specifically put like, please don't post this, send it to me privately, then I just send it to them privately. But a lot of the people do want to see their husbands and wives freaking out on my TikTok page.
Of course they do. Yeah, a little public humiliation doesn't hurt anybody, right? I'm so happy for you that you're booked and busy.
I love it.
That you found the success. There might be some people watching from home. A lot of people want to be influencers. It's a lot of work though, right? You're posting every single day. You have to find your niche kind of thing. What is your advice to someone who might be wanting to get in the industry?
It's so important to keep posting. It doesn't matter if you got 2 views yesterday, you have to keep posting. Consistency is key. Like, I don't go one day without posting, because what if that was that video that got 20 million views and got me so many requests? Like, you just never know. One video can change your life, and it's kind of like the lottery, I like to think of it. The more tickets you buy, the more chance you have to win. Well, the more videos you post, the more chances you have at going viral and making your life, just creating it for yourself. So that's what I'm doing, manifesting and completing all of my dreams.
I love that.
As you should.
How many calls have you made to date?
Probably close to like 10,000.
Whoa. Wow. I was not expecting you to say that.
Wow.
Because I started Cameo like 3 months ago, and it actually shows me how many I've done in a row. So it's like a streak, like a Snapchat streak. Like if you break that, you're back down to 0. So that means I have to get every single Cameo call done, or I lose my streak and I lose my place in the leaderboards. And my streak right now is like 4,000, and that's like in the past 3 months. So I've been doing this years, so I can only imagine it has to be 10,000 or upwards.
Where are you on the leaderboard?
I was number 1 like a couple weeks ago, and I stayed at 2nd place and 3rd place for like the past 3 months. I'm up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I am
Santa Claus. Santa Claus is number 1 now. 'Tis the season, of course. But I'm coming for your spot, Santa.
Yeah.
You should knock him right off the list. All right, I gotta sign up and get you to prank call some people.
Yeah. No, for real.
Absolutely.
And wait, I have one more question for you. Like when you come up with the name at first, like Snow Leopard, rotisserie chicken, and then they don't answer. They sort of just don't answer.
Random thoughts. It's my most random thoughts.
Because I was going to say, is that like a prompt that someone's giving you?
So there's no preparation. You kind of walk into it knowing that, okay, I'm going to get George on the phone, and whatever happens with George is what happens. It's all just really off the cuff.
I improvise everything.
I love it.
From the top of my head. And that's why I've really fallen in love with like acting and like performing in like skits, and like I know I want to do that, and I know I would do so well like in the movies. So
you're already doing it. So
I trust me, I already know.
I can see
we talked to a lot of people. You're gonna do great.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
All right, Kate. Well, Jen from corporate, I love you.
I love you. Say it back.
I couldn't wait to do that.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, one more time, in case people live under a rock, where can they find you online?
Yes, so online, Jen from corporate, and you can get my cameos in my bio. You can request a call. It says right in my bio, request a call below. Click the link, and on Instagram, I'm also Jen from corporate. So come watch me. Come
nice and easy.
I love you. I love the way you say it.
I love you. Say
All right. Love you so much. All right. We'll see you next time live and in person after you book that first role.
Yes.
We'll have you in one of these seats.
Chicago.
All right. We'll see you next time. Happy holidays to you.
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks for
going on. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. So coming up, that was fun.
That was
really fun.
She is everything I was hoping for and more.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Holiday stress. Why 75% of Americans feel obligated to say yes. I'm saying no, but I'll say yes to you guys. We'll be right back.
welcome back to Chicago Now. Okay, the holiday season is great. It seems like a time to unwind, to enjoy your family and friends. But oftentimes it seems like it is the opposite.
Yes.
So a new study or survey found that 75% of Americans say their holiday gatherings feel forced rather than something they genuinely want to attend. So to clear this up, we're talking more about it with Katie Morton, a licensed marriage and family therapist and author. Thank you so much, Katie, for joining us.
Yeah, excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about it. Why do people feel this way? I mean, the numbers don't lie, I guess, 75%.
I think a lot of it has to do with expectations. I don't know if anybody feels this, but like you're expected to be at her place and this place and bring a gift for this. I think in general, the holidays can come along with a lot of pressure and a lot of expectations. And when people don't communicate their expectations, then that can lead to resentments, which I think is why people feel like, oh, I don't want to.
Talk about the feeling too, because you know it's the holidays. Maybe you're tired, you're exhausted, right? But you can't show up like that. You know, because it's the holiday season, you have to show up happy, perky, jolly. Yeah, very jolly. And that too can be draining. Can you speak to that?
Yes, of course. I think we all can feel like you have to like turn it on, or that's the word I always use in my house. I'm like, oh, I have to like turn it on and like get it up for people, get excited. And I think in general, when we're not being honest about where we're at, right, we're kind of putting on a show or acting when, I mean, I'm not an actress. It takes extra energy. And I think in general during the holidays when we have to pretend we're super happy and maybe we're financially stressed out or we're spread thin, we have a lot of expectations at work and for our kids and other members of the family. I think in general that's why it can be so draining, because we don't get to just be our authentic selves. We can't show up in our pajamas and say, I'm just gonna have a nap, you know. It's not acceptable.
Okay, people also feel obligated to say yes to everything during the holidays, but also beyond the holidays. Why is that? Why are people, you know, feeling so, for me at least, guilty for saying no to something?
It can happen for a lot of reasons. I think first is because we don't want to let anybody down. If our role in our family or with our friends is to be like the one that always shows up, the one you can count on, that can be exacerbated by having people ask things of you, you know, and especially because if we do have a lot of different friends and family, we'd love to be there for everybody, but we're only one person. And so I think in general, we can find ourselves saying yes when we mean no, mainly because we don't know how to say no and we don't want to let that person down and we're afraid of what that would mean for the relationship or maybe what it would say about ourselves. And I will even say that a lot of us probably grew up thinking, especially women, I find, we grow up thinking that like it's our role to please everybody and to do everything and be everyone for everybody else. And I think that in general can just be a little overwhelming this time of year.
It's true.
Katie, how do you say no without you feeling guilty and without it coming off the wrong way?
That's a great question. I think a lot of us struggle. I personally struggle with this. My best advice is to keep it simple. And what I mean by that is you don't have to give a TED Talk about why. We've all done that. We're like, oh, I could go, but I can't because I have this other thing. We don't need to tell them all the details. I think keeping it short and sweet and be kind. I like to use this technique called the hug and roll, where it's like you say something nice and lovely. Like let's say it's one of your friends and you've double booked yourself, you can't make it. You say, you know, I love you so much and I always love spending time with you, but unfortunately, then we roll away. We say, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I've double booked myself. I don't have the capacity, period. We just try to keep it as simple and short as possible.
Okay, yeah, because I'm kind of one of those people who like to tell the entire story, a quick novel about why I can't make it. Okay, that's really good advice. Why do holidays in general, though, trigger people and make them feel anxious?
I think it could happen for a lot of reasons, like we talked about, like just the pressure of the holidays, spending money, being there for everybody, having to do more than usual just in your downtime can cause it. But then I also find that there's something about going back to our family home or engaging with our family that almost causes us to revert back to like an old version of ourselves. And so I think that's why it can be kind of triggering, because our aunt can treat us like we're 10 again, or our mom can, you know, act like we're a teenager and we're being rebellious. And I think without realizing it, sometimes our family can poke our buttons, or maybe they haven't seen us in a while, so they treat us like what we consider to be like an older version of ourselves. And I think in general, that can be really really hard to take, especially when we're stressed out and under a lot of pressure from life in general. I think it's just like exacerbated by the holidays.
I agree. And don't be, you know, of age and single, no kids. You always hear that.
Yeah.
When are you getting married? When are you going to have some kids? Katie, I know you have a new book. I want to talk about your book, and then you have an event to promote the new book tomorrow in Naperville.
Yes, I'll be coming to Naperville on, I think it's the 14th, actually. I'll be in your town. I'm so excited. My new book, Why Do I Keep Doing This, is out today, December 9th. It's about unlearning the habits keeping us stuck and unhappy.
Oh, I love it. I have another question for you, because you're a licensed marriage therapist. I feel like a lot of times I hear, maybe it happened with my own parents a little bit, like the competition of like, whose house are we going to be at? Is it going to be, you know, the in-laws? Is it going to be my own parents? And it's not fair if we go to this person's house. You know, the whole argument that could happen. How would you suggest navigating that if you do have both families that are local or maybe don't jive together?
I think it's all about communicating up front. So now would be a great time to start having these conversations. I think too often we wait until it's like last minute, and then it's like, well, I don't want to go there, or, you know, they're not going to be here, you know, and they're like, why? And then it causes some rift. I think it's best to communicate early and say things like, you know, I think it'd be easiest if we do this day, and then we'll have another event another day, and I'll catch up with you guys, you know, just to divvy it up ahead of time so there's clear communication up front. I feel like when we assume that people understand, or that we just kind of hope it will shake out, that's when we run into trouble. So I encourage everybody to have maybe the slightly uncomfortable conversation now, so that we don't have to have any bigger disagreements later, like on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Good idea.
Very good idea. I want to go back to something you said. Give us your book title one more time.
It's called Why Do I Keep Doing This? Unlearn the habits keeping you stuck and unhappy.
That stuck part really stuck with me. I'm just curious, can you navigate that with us a little bit? What you know, does your book reveal to the reader about, you know, getting stuck? I think a lot of people find themselves sometimes feeling stuck in different circumstances.
Definitely. This is probably my most personal book. I'm kind of taking you along on my own therapeutic journey, and the whole, like, the thread that runs through the book is about control and our relationship with it, and how we can get stuck in these old patterns like perfectionism, people pleasing, feeling like we can't take up space, like we need to shrink ourselves to fit in a space we never belonged. And so overall throughout the book, I'm showing you what I've learned in my own process, kind of like where perfectionism comes from. Like, one of my key revelations is that perfectionism isn't seeking out the best, it's actually looking for the worst. And then I talk about people pleasing and how that manifests in my life, and that it's actually not so much about the other people, it's more to do with our discomfort with upset and causing people upset. And so in general, the book is kind of less prescriptive, like do this and you'll be fixed, because we all know that's not how it works. It's more like, let me take you along on what I've learned throughout my own journey as a therapist, as someone in therapy, so that we can show up better for ourselves tomorrow.
Yeah, how's your life changed? I mean, thank you for being vulnerable and, you know, putting something out like this, because I mean, just having this conversation, it's across the board. You know, some people could feel like this at different extremes. How has it changed your life now that you know, have learned all this? Saying no is okay, not people pleasing. Is it a lot better?
Yes and no. Just to be honest, it's really hard, and I'm not perfect. I'll be the first to admit, like, I still will people please. I'll still say yes when I mean no sometimes. But I think in general what it's done is it's made me feel more authentic. Like, I'm really with the people I want to be with. It's aligned with values that I have. I talk a lot about values in the book, and making sure that we're doing things that align with our, like, what are my goals for tomorrow? What do I value in my life today? And how can I make that happen in a better way? And so I think in general, it's improved those things. But I will say there is this weird side effect of how your relationships shift. Right? Some friendships in my life were predicated on me always being the one that gave, and me always being the one that went over and above. And that's not their fault, but it's also my fault, right? Because I was doing it too. And so I think it's really, it's changed things for the better. And then there's been a little bit of that, like, grieving and like, oh, okay, well, who am I now? And like, what do I want my relationships to look like tomorrow? But overall, I'd say it's all positive. I just want people to know that when you do make change, there's that little bit of, like, ooh, discomfort that comes along with it as well.
I can only imagine.
And you may lose some people along the way.
Yes.
Because you're not the same person anymore. Katie, real quick before we let you go, where can people get your book?
They can find my book wherever books are sold. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. Just look for Katie Morton, Why Do I Keep Doing This? And also, if you happen to be in town on the 14th, I'd love to see everybody.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, thank you so much, Katie. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to having you back.
Yes, I'd love to. Thanks for having me. Happy holidays.
Right. Happy holidays to you, too.
Okay, maybe you are sick and tired of spending all that money at the grocery store. We have someone that's going to help us navigate this. Hunter Stoller, a certified health and fitness coach, will be with us right after this break. Welcome back to Chicago Now. People are expected to spend a lot of money this holiday on gifts already, and then at the dinner, we're talking about a huge bill, and here to help us navigate this, maybe already your wallet is just stretched way too thin. Hunter Stoller, a certified health and fitness coach. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, one of the top things that I saw here is that you were able to shave off $11,000 from your grocery bill for the year. You got to give us some advice on how to do that.
Yeah, so I used to be 50 pounds heavier than I am right now, for context. And one of the biggest things that helped my money and how I felt every day and my overall weight on the scale and how I felt was I realized that I am able to eat more food, eat better quality food, more delicious food when I make it at home. So it's not about should I buy this or that at the grocery store. It's more so should I be Uber Eating food from Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, or should I be buying higher quality food from the grocery store and making it at home? Because you could eat more, you could eat better quality food, and you could save money by eating more at home.
Hunter, first of all, congratulations on losing that much weight. I know that's really hard work, and you look great. And thank you for sharing your story with us. You know, some of these meals that you're making, though, people might think, okay, you saved $11,000. That means that you must be making pretty bland meals, pretty simple meals. But is that the case?
Absolutely not. People think that eating healthy has to be boring, and I have found that to be the furthest thing from the truth. I've helped over 300 men and women with their weight loss goals through one-on-one coaching sessions online, and my own experience and their experience from their testimonials. Eating healthy could be colorful, delicious. You could customize it with your own seasonings or protein powders or anything that you want. There's so many different drinks, foods, cuisines out there that are so colorful, vibrant, delicious that then it's such a myth that people think eating healthy is boring and bland, and you could save a lot of money eating healthy at home as well.
Hunter, I want to ask you, because a lot of people, and I've heard this over the years, never go to the grocery store, one, hungry, and two, without a grocery list. because what will happen is you'll just start dropping stuff in your cart, and some of it may go bad. You're not even prepared to cook it. What's your advice on that when people go to the grocery store to kind of keep, you know, that bill contained?
Yeah, so I would say you always want to go with the plan. Obviously, never go hungry, like you said, 100%. Shop the perimeter of the grocery stores, mostly because that's where the produce, the fruits, the vegetables, and the proteins will most likely be at any traditional grocery store. And then go in and out of the aisles to try to find products that you need, whether it's a healthier cereal, a condiment, a ketchup, whatever it is. And I also will say, shop the sales. Stock up when products are on sale, because I have found at big grocery stores like Whole Foods and Sprouts, which are nationwide, there are so many products that usually are more expensive, but you could find them at almost half the price or buy one, get one free at Sprouts, which is, I think, phenomenal because these products don't expire for a year or two. You'll be saving so much more money, and you'll be able to save money with your bank account.
Okay, you take away the Uber Eats, you take away these, like, you know, delivery service where you're just getting it really one meal. But would you still suggest it's an okay idea to maybe once a week get your groceries delivered? Because we know that's big. Because I could see how that's like, you're not actually going to the grocery store grabbing some extra things like Tia said. It's kind of a set list that they're bringing to your house. Can you justify that?
Yes, absolutely. And there's amazing platforms that allow for either free or $10 deliveries when it comes to groceries. I use them sometimes because in New York City, where I live, I don't have direct access to a grocery store underneath my building. And the same for Chicago and other major cities in the US, because you might not, if you can't drive to the grocery store, it's a lot to have to carry bags back to your apartment. So you have to think about how much money you will save. And the average fast food meal now costs around $15 per person. If you're a family of 4, that's $60 at the minimum, whereas you can make an entire dinner for 4 people for $10 to $15. So it's all about perspective. And of course, once in a while, you could do, you know, an Uber Eats or DoorDash, whatever you want. But for the most part, control those controllables, control what you have in your home, your living environment, and make sure that you're stocked up for success.
You know, speaking of being stocked up and being successful in all of this, this is the time of year where people usually stock up on the pounds, right? Because you're going to holiday gatherings, they got all the sweets out, all the bad stuff. What are some things that people can do this holiday season to make sure maybe they're doing a swap for some of the bad stuff with some healthy stuff?
Amazing question. Obviously, this goes along with what we have been saying. Try to make as much homemade as possible, because so much at the grocery store is filled with artificial junk. I'm talking things like high fructose corn syrup and artificial sweeteners and preservatives that we do not need in our food. That's there to make it look more appealing and to actually make it more addicting, which is so dangerous to think about. So controlling the controllables and making what you can. And then I would also say, like, shop those sales, like I said, because so many better for you products are on sale, and they are either the same amount of money or even less expensive than the traditional big name products. For example, there could be cereals. If you have kids or you're like me and you still love cereal, like I love my cereals, I just don't go for the ones that are like Fruit Loops anymore. I go for the ones that still have fruity flavors from actual fruit powder in them. And I buy them when they're 30% off online, and I save them. And my advice to parents when your kids love any type of food, let's just say cereal, for example, or a milk, is when it's on sale, stock up on them. And the expiration date, especially for a product like cereal, is not going to be in the next few weeks or months. You want to make sure that obviously you're vacuum sealing it and taking care of it so it doesn't go stale or expire quicker. You want to make sure that you are stocking up when the price is right, and your wallet will thank you.
Okay, yeah, there's so many great alternatives now, it seems like, in the grocery store with like Siete, some other ones that just have better ingredients. I have a two-part question for you. One, if people want to follow you for more advice, because we're running out of time, where can they find you? And two, Hunter, deeper level, what's your hyperfixation healthy meal right now?
Absolutely. So I'm at Health with Hunter on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I share healthy swaps at the grocery store every single day for free, health made simple. And when it comes to my fixation, it has to be a Health with Hunter yogurt bowl. I make yogurt bowls every single morning for breakfast, and it makes me feel amazing, and it's delicious and so customizable with so many different flavors that I could put in it. You'll see a lot there.
Okay.
Ooh, that sounds good.
See, that's information I needed, because if you're having that every single day, it makes you feel good. I might have to think twice about having, whatever. Okay, Hunter.
All right, Hunter, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on Chicago Now.
Thank you, guys.
All right. It was a lot of fun talking to her. We had a really good show today.
We have. All of them have been so entertaining right off the bat to the end.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will see you guys on Hump Day. Have a safe rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining us on Chicago Now.
We'll see you tomorrow.